Hello, we're back. Continuing with our helmet design. That was so we actually have assembly, and in the assembly we are creating the helmet. And we have a full-on picture of a side view that we are using. I'm just gonna hide the 3D model of the head. So this is what we're building. We went ahead and created the main form. So what we are planning to do today, actually I'm gonna set this to transparency so we can see both the pictures and that. So the goal for today is to come in, create, sorry, I'm drawing the mouse here. Try again. I create this cavity kind of, and remove this whole portion out of the surface, main surface that we have, and then go ahead and create kind of two edges on the corner, and keep kind of following these shapes, and then come in and create this midsection from those two edges, and then we'll go ahead with the holes, and then lastly with the cavity on the face. So a lot of fun stuff to go for. And I'll explain as we go through. Remove this. Okay. I'm gonna go back here, come out of the transparency so we can actually see everything. If you're not comfortable working in assembly mode, you can always right click and open a folder here of that part, and it takes you to the parts mode, and you can basically just make your edits. It will update the assembly after. So I'm gonna quickly just show you what we have and then go through it together. So if I go all the way through, what we will have at the end, obviously I make changes. Well, at the end, what we'll have, it would be actually very similar to the picture. Okay. I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna recreate all of these together. Okay, so we are here. Before cutting anything into this body, I would like to do an offset of the surface. And the reason for it is these cavities, they have a second line in them. So basically it will be the thickness of the helmet. So I'm gonna go ahead. Again, if you like, you can work in this mode. If you want to keep on to your assembly, we can also just go to the assembly and edit in the assembly mode. I have built this, so I'm just gonna rebuild it and delete the rest. So whichever you want, I might just hide the head of the person, so you don't need that. And we're gonna go ahead and offset the surface. I'm in edit mode. We go to surfaces and offset this. So it's gonna offset on the inside. Here we go, we can see it in here slightly, and we're just gonna do it for maybe, I think I've tried with 2.5. The one thing that we need to kind of watch, or we have to kind of fix after, when we create our cavity, we may get a little bit of that offset. And also in the front, we need to make sure it doesn't go too far in. So I might just go at 23 and kind of test out the theory later. I'll see if I can also do these as well. Let me turn off the image. Oh, it looks like they're clipping each other. Don't think that will work, but it does work. Not bad. Okay, so it looks like we have all of those. This we don't really need. This is just gonna be for future. So I'm gonna select that offset and just hide it. So we'll keep that as we make all of our changes to the main surface. Let's go back, get our picture. Now we're gonna go ahead and sketch on the right plane. Pressing Control 8 to see the other side so I can actually see my image. And I did go ahead and make this image slightly brighter. Okay, so gonna come in with my spline tool and I try to follow these curves. As you can see, I'm putting 2 points around each curve, and then here I'm just gonna come straight. It looks like it's going to here. Okay, I might actually change that with the line afterwards. There we go. So take our time. These are like curves, so that's why I couldn't do lines, or else a line would be really nice with fillet as well. Take your time with each one. As you guys know, the circle allows you to change both tension and angle. The diamond is only angle, and the arrow is only the extension of the curvature. Okay, this looks good. Okay, definitely need to fix this. So I want this part to be straight a little slightly. So I might just go ahead and put a line down. Let's see. No. Ah, I got tangent all of a sudden. I'm gonna push this slightly higher and do a line. Yeah, it automatically does a tangent for me. And set this to construction. This is automatically tangent, as you guys can see. We can even do it. We can do equal curvature. We don't really need to. Yeah, we can even do a C equal. So just want to make sure this portion looks straight. Oh, there we go. This is gonna be our cut line, and then afterwards we're gonna do something very similar to get our secondary thickness here. But always take your time with these. Yeah, that's looking good. Try to get as accurate as possible. Okay, this is my top line. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the bottom for the cut. Like here, here. So this one ends over here, but we need to finish. So we need to actually probably add a line. Maybe even parallel to this. Maybe that might help it. Yeah, actually, I think it's narrowing a bit more. I'm gonna set these two equal curvature. and come in, fix these. Always say the less point you have, the easier and the cleaner the curves are. So if you can get away with minimum amount of points, do that. I'm gonna make sure I get both the negative and the positive of this curve and make sure I catch the ending. This feels like it's ending over here. Mm. Okay, this needs to finish here, so we're gonna go ahead and just add a line over there. I'm gonna try to make this actually vertical. This is a clean line. And we're gonna blend the surface over here and then kind of have the cavity on the top portion. Just double checking my lines before I make my trim. Okay, looking good. So just surface trim. And here we go. We're on the removal. So I'm gonna remove that portion. Okay, nice. We have our cavity. Now we're gonna go ahead and patch up. Actually, we can't patch up yet. We're gonna go ahead and create these two edges and use our cut edge to do a sweep surface. So I'm gonna go to the right plane. And it looks like straight lines. I'm gonna go beyond that because we're gonna have to come in and cut. If you want to be very detailed, you can measure the angle of these so they stay. Completely up to you. And so this is one of them. And basically this is what we're doing. We're gonna select that edge, click sweep here, and select the edge. Just select the whole thing. For profile, we're picking this, and as you can see, it's nicely creating that edge. Something just want to make sure under option, it's on the minimum twist and it's following the path. And also you can see the zebras are nice. You can also have a mesh if you want to, if it's easier for you to understand. You can have, this is too many. You can have a mesh curvature to kind of analyze the surface. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on the bottom. The right plane, sketch. Again, I'm gonna go past this and use the center line to do a quick measurement. And surface sweep. Yeah. Oh, did I pick this one? Okay. So sometimes you just have to be on outside. Shit. Let me see if we can do that. If not, we'll just use the selection manager. This is the profile. Let's just do a selection manager. That means we have more than one. So we pick two. Now we click check mark. Beautifully, it's done. So this is this portion. If I look, now we have this portion. I show you the other side. Now we have to come in and create our cuts over here and over here. So we're going back to the right plane and sketching. I can't see it from this side, so I'm just gonna flip to the other side. Use my spline one more time. So actually I'm gonna try to do a similar. So because we're gonna try create a connection surface between these two, the number of sections we have is pretty important. So I'm gonna try to keep it the same exact thing. Also, our cut is the main cut also affects that surface. Here we go. This last one needs to be at the end of here, so I'm just gonna rotate so I can click. There we go. Nice. And it does need to be, let's see, let's set these two to be tangent, and then use this with this to equal curvature. All right, so now this part is gonna finish nicely. Now I'm just gonna go add the rest of details on this curve. Start over here. Looking good. Just take your time with this. Be patient. Too much tension in there. Push this back. Bring this in slightly. All right, this is looking good. Looks like we're slightly out over here. Having more curvature there. Okay, so it kind of comes to zero. So you can see this cut comes to a 0 point. So this is the top curve cut. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the bottom. So I had 2 points over here, and then we went kind of to this end point. So here I need to make sure I'm also again clicking on that same line somewhere on it. And we're gonna go to the finish. We'll do the same thing over here. Set these two, holding shift, setting them linear, and setting these equal curvature, so that straightens out. I believe this is gonna be pretty low too. So I'm gonna just flip to the other side. I'm holding shift and pressing the arrow for the 90 degrees. Okay. So this is the end point. That was a really nice cut that comes to a pointy crease that kind of fades into the surface. So we're going to try to capture that. And I think of the points. Here we go. And Yeah, looks clean. Let me double check this down here. Okay. I think this is my end point. I might actually take this and change them to a line. I think that would be a good idea because they are pretty straight. They don't really need to be curved. And also we're not really getting this tangency. So trim, it's not gonna change the top portion. And use a line to do this here. Mm, mm, and do a line here. This one here, but this one is not. Probably because they're far out. Let's push way too much. Okay, I'm gonna keep it slightly lower. Okay, and set this and this also the tangent. I think both of these they just need to be a lot lower. Oh, we're on that point. We can't really change that one. Okay, I'm trying to catch this tiny triangle over there. So I might have to just move my points down slightly. Okay, and update this portion. I always come back and edit and fix things. So far it looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and trim with both of these lines. Surface trim. The inside. We're removing those. Nice. That looks good. All right. So now, just gonna hide this. The goal is to get this really smooth surface here. I'm gonna mark up. We have the point kind of ending somewhere over here. So I'm gonna have to create a line and build this surface as one and make sure its curvature to the bottom, smooth to the bottom, is curvature continuous also to the side. The top would be contact because we still need that sharp crease. And then once we built this, then we go ahead and create this back arc. And now within that, we try to do our boundary surface or fill surface. Depending on which one looks better, we also may need another guide curve here. So to create this guide curve, we're gonna come in and split the surface over here. So we can do a curvature continuous guide over here. Doesn't say much with my drawing, but as long as you guys understand where we're planning to go from here. Here you can see this is the end point for that sharp piece. From here to the end of our curvature, that's going to be one surface. Okay, just to save, make sure everything's saved up just in case. All right. Let's create a split down here. I'm gonna go to right plane, sketch, This is a kind of a quick, fast way to do it. So I'm looking at the end of my fillet. Now also I'm looking at the end of this. I'm just gonna continue that line. So I know these are on the same line, and I'm gonna use this line to create a cut. Insert. Oh, it looks like I did this in assembly mode. See? The reason I know that is because there's no feature here. So this is kind of useless. I'm gonna have to redo it. I go back to my bike, assembly, edit, and one more time, right plane, sketch, and end of this point, this here. Now I can see insert curve split line. We are splitting this surface. You'll see in a minute why we did that. You can see this is in a curve. So any connection curve I put in here, it needs to follow this. So that's why I created that edge. I can set a 3D sketch tangent to that. So now we'll go insert 3D sketch. We'll go to a spline and start at the end of this point to the end of our fillet. And you can see from here, if we set this and this equal curvature, it's passing through is too much. So you can just slightly bring it down. Yeah, that looks good. So now we have 4 parameters to create this surface. Let's go ahead, surface, and create a boundary surface. This is already selected. We'll go from here to here. And then on the top, make sure this one and this one, right? It's nicely creating that surface. A couple of things we need to make sure of is, so this one, I don't have much for it. The bottom needs to be curvature to face, and the left is also curvature to face. Then we can also push this number up to create that. Let me see, this is for the bottom. And make sure not the 3D sketch. This one, you guys see the switch to none. So you sometimes just have to do it over here. This is also pretty important in this curvature to face. Okay. Here we just need to test out our new surface and make sure it's smooth. So this part is smooth. Oh, actually, we do need a crease here. But it looks slightly forced. I think the numbers I used on the bottom, it was too high. So I'm just gonna go back and look again on the surface. I also think it didn't do both sides. Curvature to face, curvature to face. So on the bottom, I'm actually not gonna push it so much. I'm gonna go a bit lower so it gives a little bit of room. Also on the top, maybe we can give it, you can see these are slightly changing. This one I almost want it to be on the right. Okay. Now look at this again. All right. We do have a contact over here. It might be that this is a slightly too curved. So you can always go ahead and keep editing and improving your surfaces. Mm. So this is really nice and smooth. I can see the bottom. These parts are okay. Don't love that. Looks a bit pushed. Just as a test, I might try a loft. We'll see how that looks. And then if that doesn't work, we'll go back to this. Let's see. This is actually see our surfaces. Okay. Yeah. Let's try a surface loft. We can do a loft from this to this. And then we can have our guide curve from here to here. And then see this and that. I believe this is did not help out actually. Double check. I don't think. Yeah, we have now a clear. It's smoother in the middle, but here we have a clear line. So the loft is not helpful in this case. Just gonna go back, and our last option would be the fill, but usually if you have a third, um, fourth edge, that would be the best one to do. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my boundary. It might be that this is a bit sharp, so we can always go back and kind of fix these points as well. For now, just gonna continue with our boundary surface. And later on, if you didn't like it, it'll come and change. So another thing that might help is to change direction. So I'm gonna do this one first and do that and that after. Okay. And curvature continuous. Curvature continuous. I'm gonna test this out. Look at this. I did not push the numbers actually. So let's see if I do push the numbers, what would that get us? You have to be pretty patient with surfacing. This one is on the pink side. This, you can see these are straightening out as I push it. Okay. Slightly better. Okay. It's improving. Eventually, I could go back and edit these lines or edit this sharp edge to get the smoothest surface. I think my past surface was slightly better. Okay, let's see. Mm, mm, This is my line. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think we did this because it was kind of pushing it out. Mm, This one has to be. Going to keep pushing it out. That means this, my original line, that line is not on the right direction. So now this is not really cutting. I can't move it down. See, yeah, it's slightly above because this line, the first line that I have is not matching this. Mhm. We just need to have a slight cut over here on our chamfer. Then I go back to my original cut. This is my trim. Here's another trim. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, this is where the issue is coming from. So this one was pretty open. Oh, I think I set these two to be parallel. Maybe that's where the issue is coming from. Just gonna open up. Not gonna have them be parallel. Try to put this on the line one more time. Same thing with this one. This is the cut portion. Okay, giving a bit of gap between all of these. The hole and also parameter over here. Okay, this might kind of change the other one now. Let's see if we can fix this. It's like got better. Still not good enough. But now I know what the issue is. So I know it's not being able to cut. The issue is this and that line. The bring tendency to this. This always happens. It's pretty common to have to go back, edit few things. Here we go. Now we have this actually cutting. Okay, okay. And we can set this now to be something more realistic. I think I pushed it now too far. Slightly too far, but because this is curvature or collinear, our surface is gonna get smoother. If I look at the surface, see evaluate. You can see the surface got more smooth over here. And boundaries. Yeah. We might have to actually edit this one too slightly to push it in so it doesn't have so much of a curvature. Just like a slighter curvature to help out with this better. Nice. I can see now a smooth zebras happening. Okay. I'm not also too worried about it because we're gonna come in and cut all of these out. So as long as we have a decent surface happening, once we create all of our holes, we can barely see any of these surfaces. So now I need the bigger portion. We need to build that. I go back to my right plane and sketch. So I'm gonna set up this back end. And there we go. Okay. If you like, you could actually create an extruded surface if you want to loft. First, I'm gonna try a fill surface. See how that looks, and then if the fill surface is not the right one, then we create another guideline in the middle and do a boundary. But a fill would be really nice if it does work. It's very quick. Okay, this is looking good so far. So on the first one, this needs to be curvature. And on the last one, I need to create extrusion over here. Let's see, I can do tangency. Actually, not on that one. On this back one, let's try a tangency. I need to create a surface first, but let's just look at this and see. All right, not bad. Nice. Let's see how that looks. Okay, have something. Let's recreate that portion. I don't love my 3D sketch over here. I think it's pinching it too much. Another thing we need to kind of be aware of is this we're getting too flat over here. So let's go. I'm gonna go before my fill surface. Oh, actually, no, I can't. I need to sketch. I remove that fill surface. Use this to do a extrude surface the opposite way. So it kind of gives us parameter for the mirroring. There we go. And we want to. So it does look slightly flat. I don't mind adding a 3D sketch over here just to create a curve. So let's see, insert 3D sketch. So it's gonna kind of look pretty raw. But here's my goal out of this. Remember we had a secondary surface that was offset. All right. So I actually try to look at the curvature of that offset and to help me push this. Go to a section view. The section view. And I'm gonna rotate kind of. Getting kind of close to that 3D sketch. And now I can see that secondary curve. So I can you guys can see now the flat is passing through. I think it's hiding. So starting to look better already. It's just a very slight curve. And from here, I can actually straighten it out if I wanted to. Just matching that. Okay. We'll try it with a guide. If it doesn't help, won't select it in there. And one more time, I'm gonna go hide this surface. Don't need it anymore. So one more time, we're gonna create, try a fill surface one more time. Hide this. So I have these 4 sides, and then as a curvature, I have this one. Hopefully it will help out. Yeah, kind of helping out. Nice. We need to set this back one again. Say tangent. And the front one, that would be curvature. Okay. See? Much nicer. It's actually curving out a bit more. We do have a weirdness happening here. I think I need to go fix my cut slightly. Surface. This one, original trim, yeah. And see. Go back to this one. That looks much better now. This and this need to be, oh, that was the issue maybe. They need to be tangent. So you have a nice curvature happening here. Okay. Starting to get there. I see a bow on my surface slightly. So if I don't like something, I'm just gonna cut and rebuild it. Let's see, it might be a lot faster than trying to fix every portion of the sketch. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use a line tool. And cut. And probably make a cut somewhere right here. And then need this one. Might set these to be parallel just to create a nicer surface between them. And we'll go surface and trim. Remove these, and then we're going to use our fill surface and recreate that portion. Okay, these two sides need to be curvature. So that one is curvature and not this one. Also this one. Okay. Let's look. Did that help or not? Not. Okay. We can also try a boundary. Might be more helpful. Because then I can set the curvature continuous on both sides. Okay, let's try these two as one side and then selection manager because we have 2 points. And It's gonna drag these in. See, there we go. So you kind of pass them until you see the point. And then finally you see the point. All right, here we go. That's one, and the bottom. Thank you. That was much quicker. And then it might be better to stay zoomed out. Okay, and press check. All right, set these curvature and curvature. Okay. Start doing it. Oh, much better. Nice. All right, good. So now that we have our surface in here, we actually connect everything and add variable fillets over here. And also this would be a test. Also want to mirror and double check this back connection before we move forward. Let me hide this. Not let me hide. Okay, let's do a knit. I'm gonna merge everything. Mhm. And pick number one. Okay, I'll try to match them. Good. Now they work. So let's try to do a fillet also. That's also another test that all our surfaces are coming together. Add a variable fillet on this. So 0.02 on one side and a 0.1 on the other. You can see it gives us a really nice gradual fillet. Same thing on the bottom. And the 0.1 to 0.02. And then on the inside, I'll just do a 0.02. This would be just for rendering. And normal fillet. Let's see if we can do the bottom one as well at the same time. Oh, looks okay. But it doesn't like it. I'll just do one at a time. Face fillet for this. Let's see if we can even go smaller. It is coming to a 0 here, so maybe we'll just do a variable fillet. I did not make this. Oh. That one. And yep, it does not like it. Okay. Try this side first, and we'll come back to that. Fillet, normal, let's do 0.2. If there's anything we cannot fillet, The nice thing about keyshot is you can slightly curve them or smooth the surfaces. Please fill it. Yeah, so I keep this one as is. Do mirror just to check the back portion. Plane and bodies to mirror and select everything somehow. Okay. So this is the goal I'm trying to see if it's a smooth, and if it's smooth, we'll delete that. Okay, that looks good. This got much better. Still, we have some funny stuff. I actually think it's my 3D sketch is too curved. This is pushing the surface. All right, I come out. We don't need the mirror, so make sure you get rid of it so it doesn't bother you. Now the fun part. Now we're gonna go ahead and create all of our holes over here. So let's get to that. Then go back to the right plane. Start sketching. So I'm actually gonna do all the outer surface cuts in one go, and then all the inner surface cuts in a second sketch. So to do this, this is the only one that has also a split line, basically like a split face. So it's gonna take slightly longer to do, but I'm gonna just use lines for now and fillets. Here and here. I'm gonna come in and edit these in the right proportion. And this needs to go up. Before I make a fillet, because this is double layered, I'm just gonna do an offset entity on this one. In the reverse. I will still have to come in and edit this offset because it's not equal everywhere, as you guys can see. So I'm just gonna come in and delete this. And also delete this. So now I can manipulate. But I still have all the parts in there to play with. Okay. Same, this also is smaller. Now add our fillets. So that. Start from the inside, which is easier. Almost too much. Okay. Up with this. All right, that actually looks pretty good. And here. Actually, this line needs to be slightly back. There we go. Try to add that fillet in there. So, do more. Let's see. Okay. Okay, same thing on the outside. 36. 37. Okay. Mm, just taking my time trying to match the curvature best possible. Oh, actually looks pretty good. And lastly, this is way too big. Let's do 9, maybe 21. Perfect. Okay, this is one sketch. We're gonna go through all of these. Let's see. So this part's slightly curved, but the rest are not. So I just this. Also don't want to be exactly on that line because that is my cut line on the back side. So you can always take a look. So I need a slight gap here. But also maybe I can try to be slightly parallel to this. Okay. And it. Oh, too big. 5, 3. Okay. So these ones is also small. Make sure this is somewhere centered before I do this. This one could be 5. Okay, and we're going to do the larger fillets. These will be nice curvatures. And we'll do the same thing on the inside. The reason I'm doing it this way because I want to have flat, curve flat. So maybe loft to the inside. They have similar number of edges or sections. If it doesn't loft, then in that sense, I could actually go ahead and do boundary surfaces from fillets to fillets. All right, so this is also done. One more over here. I think, yeah, this is definitely, maybe the first one could be flat, but it definitely looks like it's curving. So, this is not really helpful over here. Just going to remove this and add a spline instead. Okay, that looks much better. And also add a fillet. Big. Okay, that looks better. Get this closer. And yeah, actually, that looks good. This one is open, it's gonna pass through the surface. We have one more over here. See how much of it we can use lines. Probably the rest of it. The top definitely is the arc. Maybe this one I could use a line. And here's our spline. Matching this. Okay. And our top spine. Matching this portion. Here we go. All right, it's coming out pretty good. We are getting all of these. It might be too hard to say in one sketch and do everything, but because they're all on the same type of feature, it's easier on the tree to understand where all of these come from. So that's why I'm trying to get all of these in one go. And we'll go last fillets. So 9 on that, maybe 1. Good. And this is slightly larger. Okay, here we go. Perfect. I love it when it happens by accident. It's just the right size. Ooh, to be slightly. Let's do a 1/8. Very good. Okay, we have all of our parameters. So I would trim, but because we have here just a split, so I'm gonna go ahead and split all of these out of the surface, and then I'm gonna come in and delete the surfaces that I don't need. So let's go ahead, insert curve, split line. We are kind of, we don't need that one. Hitting all of these surfaces. Look straight at it. So I need to make sure I'm picking everything correctly. Maybe we'll pick this. It's not in there. Okay, this is gonna be just split. And now go to the surface, delete face, and I'm going to pick all the ones we don't need. And we're just gonna delete, we're not gonna patch. All right, nice. We can see our beautiful cavity in here. Looks great. All right, now it's time to do the same exact thing for the back surface. Here's our back surface. If I put it in, it's hard to see. I'm just gonna add a color to it so it will be easier to see. Maybe just a space. Oh, I can see this is not doing a great job. So when we did our surface, we didn't really know how much to offset. So it looks like it's pushing past through here. I might just slightly make this after I color it. Color it. I think it's easy to see. Might go to the offset, and this is 23, so I might offset more. Let's try 25 and see. Yeah, that's much better now. At the same time, I don't want to ruin the front portion. Oh, what did I do? I have not done that. Stop and repair. Let's go fix that. So it's not as big of a deal. Okay, let's go back to 23. What's going on? Boundary. Please sketch. Okay. Not sure why. Hmm, let's see what happened. It says I was about to say we should save this file. And this happened. Okay. So the good thing is we have this. Let's hide this one more time. This does happen. Just have to go through everything and kind of figure out what's the problem. Boundary. Oh, this was my fixing. I remember this. Okay. Selection manager. Mm, I'm just gonna go ahead and fix these things. The good thing is we didn't crash, so as long as SolidWorks working, we can go ahead and come back to what we had. I'm just gonna do this over here. Mm, Taking my time and trying to catch these points so we can put in our secondary parameters. I don't know why it keeps going on the top portion. Maybe. Mm, You know what? At this point, I'm just gonna delete this real quick. Full surface. So we don't have to spend too much time on it. Oh, delete split line. Net surface. Okay. Yeah, can't do that. Let's see one more time. So direction to. Hmm, hmm, oh, Good. Now it's in the right place. Okay, this happens as long as you're patient with the program. Probably get what you want out of this. The nice thing with SolidWorks is that it has a tree, it has a history, so you can always come back. Unlike a lot of the programs that doesn't have much of a history and you kind of have to save a copy of every surface or every curve that you make. With SolidWorks, we can just go through our steps and kind of figure out what went wrong and fix things. So if I don't put these on a point, what happens is there'll be slight openings on the surface and it will not knit together. There we go. And sometimes just the way I view it. There. I just saw it for a millisecond. There we go. Nice. Okay. Don't change on me now. Okay. All right, now we got all of our cavities in here. Just gonna save. So we are safe with this. Good. Save them internally. Now we're gonna go ahead and create the holes on the back piece. There we go. One more time and turn this on. Definitely not gonna make any changes to that surface anymore. One thing would be nice is to actually have these sketches, just so we can see as we are creating our new sketches. Right, sketch. Right. So one more time, we're just doing the inside portion now. This and no, this side. The view on this is slightly weird because we're looking from the side view on a top cavity. So we're just gonna make it as close as we can. Yes, I'm using a spline for this curvature over here. Um, and trying to look at that and that and try to see if they're kind of going the same direction. And also this and this. Okay. And you want more sweet. Spline, I mean. Okay, this needs to be done closer. Don't want to click on that line. See, still doing it anyway. So I don't see the back cavity. I'm just gonna put it on the same parameter I see from the top portion. Once we add a fillet, it will go in. Okay, boom, too big. That looks good. Oh, and now press OK. And this one will be a lot larger. Okay, so I want to keep my flat over here. And before I do this, let's put it in place. Okay, and one more time. That looks great, actually. This one too large. I will do a 1. Nice. So 1 done. We have a couple more to go. This should be pretty quick. This one was mainly lines. I'm just gonna draw. I think I already hooked onto something. Go outside. This kind of goes in, which I can't see. Okay, I'll try to match my line with these edges before I add my fillets. Go. And this one. Again, I'm looking at these two. This looks like this should be slightly tilted backwards. And I'll come down with this also. I have to put it right on there. Okay, let's add our fillets. Way too big. 0.02. 0.03, maybe. Okay. And I'm also going to do this side, which is smaller. Perfect. This should be a lot larger one. Good. And here's the last one. Perfect. We got 2 more to go. We'll do again. I think we use the line tool for this one. Overall. Oh, nice. That looks good. Quick bullets. That make it bigger one. That looks good. And nice. These should be a lot smaller. Let's go 5 on this. And oh, perfect. Lastly, it would be the portion for the mount. See, you can see there's a mesh here, so probably with this one, we just have to split and keep that main piece in there because we're gonna come in and once we thicken it, we can add the mesh in rendering program. I remember this one, the top was our was this one a line? That looks like a line. Okay, we'll keep this one also as a line. And now we'll use a spline for the midsection. There we go. Okay. Oh, could have been a curved as well. But because I have a line here, I just want to keep the same type of section. Here we go. Actually, both curving. Perfect. Great. Looks like we have all of our cavities for the under layer. That's okay. And again, we could have trimmed, but because of this portion, I'm just gonna do a split. Split line, and it's gonna be our pink surface. Okay, and hide the sketches. Right now, we will do. Oh, oops, wait. Delete the faces we do not need. Surface, delete face. We don't need this one. Don't need this one. We don't need that one. The only one we're keeping actually is this one. Okay. All right. Now this is actually pretty fun. We're gonna go ahead and loft edge to edge. So one more time, I want to color this surface so it's easier to see. Gray on gray would be really hard. So now I'll just make it green. Okay, let's go ahead on our loft. If we have nice sketches, this should loft very cleanly. Selection manager. And remember where you start selecting from. So basically your points line up. This is one. And selection manager. I started out here. Let me see anything. No section guide curves are invalid. Okay, if we get any message, we'll have to do section by section. So I'm actually just gonna try this one for now while we are in the loft mode. One more time. Selection manager. Might have been that I did not pick everything on that last one. Okay, one side and two. This one. Oh, I also need to knit. Oh, okay. So I think I know what's wrong. I haven't knit any of my surfaces. believe that's what's giving us an issue. So I need to go ahead and knit all the surfaces that we have. These are all one. These are okay actually. Why are we getting issues? Let's try it one more time with the top one. I mean, we can always come in and do them one by one boundaries. It just takes a lot longer. So I was hoping I could loft all of them. Okay. Yeah, right. Just let me just see. All right. All right. This is what we're looking for to get. This looks very clean. Perfect. All right. So you either need to figure out what's happening with these, or if it doesn't work, I just have to do them section by section, and that would be pretty easy to do. So we can use our boundary surface. We can go our flat to flat. That's easy to do. And then we can again boundary flat to flat. Looks like we have more of a flat on this one. Maybe it should be on this thing. Okay, selection manager. So here we have two sections of our flat. And all we need to do is just to flip. Okay. So we have these and again for here. And then these two. So for those two, we can set tangency. So we have a smooth connection over there. And see one more flat to flat. Now we'll do those again one more time. And boundary. This would be all three portions here, here, and here. With again. Now you can see why we did the same amount of sections on each cavity. And this. Okay. And I pick that edge and this edge as tangency. Alright. Lastly, here we have these two. And oh, it looks like that I had a section. Let's delete. Selection manager, this one and this one. I should have probably done that with the other one, but I believe it will correct itself. This and here we go. And also these will be tangency. So it's slightly taking longer this way, but it's possible to do. Loft would be a ton easier and faster. Wow, this is starting to look pretty cool. Okay, let's try this one as well. Boundary. I'm gonna try to do the flats. Actually, clear selection. Selection manager. This, and that. Maybe also that. And then this and this and all of our flats and this last curve. Okay, clean, nice. Now we're gonna try to do the top portion. Boundary. Selection manager. So I'm just gonna leave that flat for the finish work. Okay, and manager. It's going to want me to flip. Oh, did we pick this one? Yep. Okay, I think I forgot to pick that one on the first round. So far it's giving okay. Boundary. This one. These will be again tangency. So to make sure we have a nice smooth connection between all of our sections. And lastly, oh, I see what happened here. Forgot to delete that. That's why the lock wasn't working. There's our face delete. Variable alert. Delete face. Okay, this is the inner one. There's another delete face. Right, this is what happened. Forgot to pick this portion. We may not need all of these anymore. It's okay. Okay, that's fine. This got corrected. I'll just add this portion and we should be good. Selection manager. This and that. There we go. And then see, I'm ready. Okay, nice. We're getting there. Got 3 out of 4. Last one. So this one, if I show you guys a picture, there's actually a nice curve here. This is now pushed in a bit. So we're gonna just add this curve. We're gonna loft these two together and then have these as a guide curvature. So I'll just go to the right view, the sketch. Line. And I can get rid of my sketches at some point. So I'm gonna connect actually into this. This is coming from our offset portion that is not working. Okay, maybe not so sharp. And one more on the bottom. So maybe a better way would be to actually move this section further because we have extra here. Then we're missing here, so if we could just move this slightly forward, that would have helped us out. But since I've already made all these cavities, I don't want to go ahead and make any edits, just in case they'll break all those surfaces. Right, and let's do another surface loft. Right, these. Okay. Ooh, okay. Selection manager. There we go. And the second portion also. Nice. Okay, we can already see this beautiful surface happening. And if I show my sketches, I can use them as a slight guide, so we get a little bit of a curvature throughout. Nice. And we'll still have our mesh piece. Very good. Let me hide that sketch. Yeah, it's looking great. Look at that. All right, let's go ahead and cut out this portion. So we have, again, another connector piece here. And once we have that, we can mirror over and look at everything together. So one more time, front plane. Let's do a sketch. And look at the other side. I use my line tool. Here and out. So again, I use all lines. Just gonna try to match this one slightly better. There are two pieces. There's the outer one and the inner one, just so you're following the right side. Now, add some fillets in here. Okay. Right. This should be a pretty generous fillet over here. Nice. Good. Now we can actually trim our surface. To surface. This would be the outer surface we're trimming. And remove that. It's a lot faster to do this rather than split and delete. Okay, now our second portion, we're actually gonna need the sketch, so show it. One more time, on the right plane, we're gonna create a new sketch. This is now the inner portion. So again, use my line tool. Mhm. So this is why we're keeping this one, because at some point they become the same. We don't really need to redo all of that. So I'm just gonna pick this to do a convert on them and trim the extras. Perfect. And all we need to do again, slight fillets. Ooh. Actually, maybe we don't need to spawn them up. Okay, this one too big. Okay, this one. Okay. It should be a little larger. Okay. um, Now we're going to this time trim the inner surface with the screen one. Check, yeah. Okay, the cool thing about that is now we can actually see our human head once we turn it on. So this is going to be a slightly trickier connection. We can just loft everything. We can connect our flats together, then flat here together. Here, where we have this, then it turns into that. We need to section it off and boundary it off that way. I'm just going to remove all of those so it's easy to see. Do a quick loft from here to here. Okay, that's simple. Also on the bottom, we can do that. You can also use boundary, whichever is more convenient. Take this and this. Let's see. Boundaries. Those two. Yeah, this one needs to be broken up to pieces. And we'll talk about why. Selection manager. Here and here. Okay, that's also very nice. Put these two in. We have flat line or flat line. That's helpful. Let's try to boundary those. Sure, we can take this top portion as well with it. Let's do a clear selection. Just this one for now. Flip. Okay. So here and here. Can't do that. We have foot and foot and flat and flat. So I'm gonna come and split this into two more sections because we have curve, flat, curve, flat, right? Then we have only curve and flat. So that's why I'm gonna break it up. So we're just gonna go to right plane, do a sketch. Oh, look to. Okay, that might be a good place to cut. And maybe somewhere over here, we can cut. Okay. Now we'll just do a split. Or yeah, split line with this face. So now we have this. Let's turn this on so you guys can see. Here we go. What surfaces? Boundary surface. So I'm gonna again just do my flat to flat over here. And flip. All right. And flat to flat over here. We have the second one over there that needs to be tangent. Right. Now this is also should be simple. This is the part that kind of goes from curve to straight, that kind of, we want to make sure it creates a nice boundary. Here to here. And second direction to this. I'm gonna set these curvature and oops, could be tangency. Let's try curvature. The tangency should be okay on that one. Okay. Let's see, this was curvature. Just gonna push up the curvature. And we'll look at the mesh so we can analyze. Okay, the mesh looks good. Nice. And lastly, you can use fill surface as well with these if you want to. Just make sure you have tangency for the connecting faces. And here one more time. Fill. Also tangency for those. Okay. All right, nice. Let's look at this one more time without all the lines. Looking very good. Need to fix the surface. We don't really use it, so we can cut it if we wanted to. But for now, what we're gonna do is just mirror this over and look at the whole thing. Also actually, one more piece that I forgot. There is a tiny cavity here. So let's do a slight trim, create this cavity over here. Right plane, sketch. And once we have all of those, then we need to knit surfaces and do this. Okay, line tool. It kind of goes here and fades. It's harder to see, but I believe it follows somewhat of this curve. I'm gonna give it a nice fillet there. Same thing on the bottom. Okay. Very large fillet for this. And just like a smaller one on that one. We're gonna have to come in and split this afterwards anyway, so I'm just cutting the surface right now. Surface trim. It's gonna be this portion on the outside. Oh, slightly looks funky there. So I might actually sketch. I don't like the way the curves are coming together. Yeah. Yes. Go trim this, extend both of these, and trim the extra, and kind of move this somewhat closer to the other one as the center. And here we have a cavity up there too, so I need to watch that one as well. There we go. Yeah, much better. Next one. Oh, okay, I think that looks better. Yes, much better. All right, we need to come in and draw this form in here. And then we'll do a fill surface actually for this one. Right plane, sketch. So as you can see, there's just a cavity. This should be farther back. Um, so we don't have continuity on the side, or the top. The only continuity is on the back here. Let's see. So if we, two options, we can do a loft here to here, and then do this as a guide curve, and that one is a guide curve. Or we can also do a extend the surface and do a fill, all of that. So let's test out, see if the loft works out. We'll keep that one. If not, then we'll go to the fill surface. One portion and curve. This kind of gives us that. And also, here's our guide curve. See, let's look at that surface. It's curving in a lot more than I was hoping. So one thing could be just to make this slightly less dip in. Still, if I look at here, this is a lot more subtle. So I think the loft is not as helpful. So we're just gonna use this piece to extrude a surface the other way and do a fill surface. Okay. And so we'll do a fill surface. So this, actually that would be okay. Curve. Actually, we can have it. Okay. I think I did all of them. Let's hide the image so we can actually see all the parameters. There we go. Okay, need to find out which one is my last one. Well, this one needs to be curvature. All right, look at that, beautiful. Nice. And we're gonna do this one. Gonna hide it. Oh, too many surfaces. We need to come in and knit everything. Okay, let's knit things and mirror over. This one needs another thickness, so I might just keep this not knitted with the rest. Mm. So presses in, and here's a loft one. And lastly, this portion. Okay, so I'm just not selecting that piece. All right, looks good. Let's try to merge them. Just gonna close up the gaps. And we are going to mirror and look at the full helmet, see what we have created so far. Still, I'll have the visor to do, which would probably be for another video. We've already got a lot done. Also on to this one. Okay, nice. And we take the color off of this. Okay, and maybe off of this one. So we have to look at these. Okay, this looks really good. And we can give it now a full color for the whole part. Try too bright. Okay, looking really nice. All over surfaces and okay. Definitely we have pieces here that we can actually come in and color separately later. And we do definitely need fillets around the rest of these. So that would be for another video. I'll add some fillets.